Hey everybody, this is Dr. Flight. Hope you're doing great. I'd like to welcome you to our marketing research course and this particular video outlining and walking through marketing research, defining marketing research, and then also thinking about its role in the organization and the firm and what purpose marketing research serves. So let's jump right in and think a little bit about the definition of market research. What is marketing research? And there's going to be a couple different definitions here dating back to the last 15 years or so. And one definition earlier on would include this idea of marketing research as a process. And this is one way I like to actually describe research to folks who are just beginning, where we design ways to collect information. We gather and execute those data collection processes, analyze the information and data that we've acquired, and then we interpret or report that information. And the key here is information. That word is used ubiquitously here for any type of data or bits of knowledge that you gather. So the whole process then involves designing ways to gather information, executing and gathering that information, assembling it, analyzing it, looking at it, interpreting it, and then reporting what it's all about. So that's kind of what happens. That's what happens when we do market research. A newer definition, however, of marketing research provided by the American Marketing Association adds the word links. And it's a function, so it's not just a process, but it's a function. So this could be a group of people, it could be an individual, it could be a department, it could be an agency, but it's a function, it's a role that is played where we link an organization to its market. It's through the gathering of information. So we still have this gathering of information idea. However, this time it's the whole linkage part. Now, this is not the most recent definition. The most recent definition extends this concept of linking just a little bit further and adds a little bit more clarification. So the current American Marketing Association definition for marketing research is the function, so continue to function, that links, so a link, which we're going to talk about here in a minute, the consumer, customer, and public. So that would be outside stakeholders, outside the firm or organization stakeholders, to the marketer or to the market or to the decision maker within the organization through information. Okay, so information is always a key here. The idea that we're linking external constituents to internal constituents, and that it's a function, it's an organizational tool that's used. So there's a lot going on there, but you can kind of see how this idea of marketing research, it's not mystical or mysterious, but it does focus on linking groups of people together through the acquisition of information. So why would a decision maker or why would a marketer in an organization want to know this, want to have research and be a part of this? And so in a nutshell, we're going to talk a lot about this idea. Well, information helps decision making be better. It helps decision makers make better decisions. Could be decisions that associate with operating the business. When we do a situational analysis, we often do what's called a SWOT analysis, where we analyze our strengths and weaknesses, but we also look for opportunities and threats. And research helps us identify what those opportunities and threats are. It helps us generate and refine and evaluate our marketing performance. So when we're executing marketing, we want to know how well we're doing in doing that. We want to know how our performance is in sales, how our performance is in advertising, how our performance is in our pricing strategy. So all of those things are measured. It's all information that we gather, and we want to be able to evaluate. And then we also want to improve on those processes, improve on the things that we're doing. So could we do our pricing strategy in a different way, which would yield different results? Or can we do some other type of process, our new product development process, for instance? Are there ways we can improve that efficiently to bring our product out to the market faster, maybe? Something along those lines. So these are just some examples, but information feeds how we grow as an organization. It feeds how we monitor our performance. It also feeds how we're going to engage and do business and our processes in the future. So again, these are just a few examples, but when you're a decision maker, you want valid, true information to help you sort of get to that point. And this is this linking idea that market research really fulfills within the organization. So think of the market researcher as somebody who has contact with and access to stakeholders and external constituents in the organization. So, there's information out there, information about our customers, information about our employees or shareholders or suppliers, people who have vested interests. Those would be the stakeholders within the organization. Now we want to do research on them. We want to know as much as we can about these groups of stakeholders. And so the researcher should have access to them, right? Direct access to gather that information. The other areas where we want information come from our processes, how we do our marketing activities, product, price, place, distribution, promotion, those types of things, and the overall environmental business environment trends that we recognize. And again, those are kind of in the situational analysis that happens. But the point is, all of these things happen and can be measured directly by the researcher. Simultaneously, this researcher then links with marketing managers or decision makers. So think about this as like the researcher's close to the information, and they can gather it, analyze it, interpret it, and then they can report it to decision makers who are then implementing marketing programs and doing all the different strategic work that they're doing. Okay, so the definition of marketing we've talked about, and we've also talked about this linking role of marketing as a conduit or link between the market and the marketing managers. Those are vitally important concepts to understand when you think about what the role of marketing research is, especially the value that it adds to the organization through decision making. And that's kind of the key point. That's why companies literally spend millions and millions of dollars in market research every year, and it's for that linking capability. Now, as we move forward, we're just kind of wrap this up with some emerging trends in marketing research. And there's always sort of in any industry or any professional career, there's sort of current paths that are happening. So certainly I'm going to talk about a few of these. One, the greater use of big data and secondary data. And when I say secondary data, I mean data that already exists in an organization. So oftentimes this is maybe database management, data in a database that can be used that represents outside stakeholders. But being able to collect those, assemble those, and use that secondary data as opposed to going out and creating new data yourself for a project. So increased scrutiny and use of secondary data is something that's becoming more and more a thing. Certainly gathering data and data driven through automated technologies such as artificial intelligence or machine learning is a big deal. So when transactions happen, data is automatically gathered and then automatically analyzed sometimes by algorithms within the that are coded in a data system. And then that new approach, that new analysis creates data in and of itself. So using technology to do a lot of that work for us, big trend. Certainly more digital data. So anytime we have a digital footprint, whether it's a website, an app that we have generated, our interaction on social media and social platforms creates data as well. So anything in those digital areas, so our own, kind of social media interaction work, social media buzz, those types of things. When we have an app, if we have an app for our store, an app for our product, all that app, anybody who has the app then is providing us data, then also website and of course types of data as well. Certainly a bigger and influential international basis. So just so you know, market research is an international field. People can do research all over the world, and they absolutely do. And then the final one is a big one and probably the most important, where in market research, the job today is certainly gathering, analyzing information and kind of that. But where the value of it is when you can take the information and translate it into a marketing insight or a bit of knowledge that the marketing decision maker can use to do their job better. And so the whole idea here is this is a two-worded field: marketing, research. Marketing, research. So we need to know how to do research. We need to know how to gather the data and analyze and all that. But we also need to know marketing too, because it doesn't just help if you research. What it helps in is if you take the information that you do research on and translate that into some actionable tool that the decision maker can use. So this concept of insights is vitally, vitally important, and probably the biggest trend you're going to see here. And quite frankly, if you're in this industry where you provide value and why you're going to get paid a lot of money. So, all right, this is just an introduction to research. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know if you have any questions, and take care.